You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Have patience with yourself, especially in my generation, because a lot of people, in my generation, the social media thing where they see all these influencers, people making all this money. My mom always told me everybody has a season. So understand that, your season's coming up. You know what I'm saying? It may not be right now, but it will be eventually. But just, stay down for the come up and things of that nature. And just keep going.
All right, y'all. So we're about to go ahead and get into this next episode with an amazing guest that we have. Just want to let y'all know that Eric, who's a video director, is a jerk. He's not letting me get a swig of anything to drink. But it's okay because we got a great guest here. We got a great episode for y'all. And that's the most important part that we want to focus on. I'm going to do this entirely sober, which, of course, I do all of the episodes sober, by the way. Nice. We really got to get Eric a mic. So look, y'all, we've had a lot of conversation with a variety of amazing guests in different roles. And one of the things that many of you have been asking about is for us to have more variety. One of the roles that I've seen many of you drop it in the comments. I know y'all might not think I look at the comments, but I see all the comments. We're very dedicated when it comes to y'all. But many of y'all have been asking about system admin or system administrator. I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the roles in tech that I myself was not very familiar with. So I was like, okay, we definitely have to get someone on here to talk about being a system administrator. And so have a phenomenal guest on who's gonna be breaking down what it is and also how he's been able to leverage his tech career to grow his bag even outside of his job in tech. I'm gonna allow him to kind of touch on that a little bit more. But as always, reading off our guest bio, Torian Smith, he's currently working as a system admin in the tech industry while running a trading mentorship program. So he's a 25-year-old from Augusta, Georgia, now residing in Atlanta. He started working at Apple for 4.5 years and currently is working as a system administrator for the tech industry while running his trading mentorship business. Now, Torian, bro, super excited to have you on, dude.
Happy to be here.
Very interested in your story. I tried to make it a point to not ask too much. So that way, because I love for the conversation to be really organic and for my reactions to be genuine. Because I'm not that good of an actor, so I can't fake reactions. So, man, that being said, bro, again, thank you so much for being on here with Tech is the New Black.
Yeah, man. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really glad to be here. So,
yeah. Hey, bro, I don't know if y'all can see the waves. I don't know if Eric might. He got the super deep waves right now. So kind of maybe want to put a hat on right now. Oh, yeah, Eric's. Yo, Eric is hilarious. Bro, so, man, would love to hear, bro, so I know you're from Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing before getting in the tech industry?
Man, so before I got into tech, well, technically I was always into technology of some sort. So even when I was little, 2-3 years old, playing with phones, computers, things like that. Yeah. Before tech, I got into social media. So I had a lot of friends that was in the social media industry that were now you see the top influencers and things like that. Yeah. So I have a lot of actor friends who went into that and things like that. So I got into social media just it was a trend going back a couple of years ago where it was you create dub smashes, kind of like TikToks now, but dub smashes, things like that where you do different challenges and stuff. Yeah. So I was in high school and literally I did a video. It was one of those dance challenge videos. And the video just blew up. It had 25,000 likes on it, a bunch of comments. Man. And during that time, I had a lot of people that I knew in that social media industry, so they were sharing it. We were sharing each other pages and things like that. And then I just started creating different content. Also, my high school I went to a technical magnet school, so it was my pathway was broadcasting at the time. Okay. So I did I got into audio, video, stuff like that as far as filming and things of that nature too. So I learned how to edit and stuff like that when I was in high school. So we would create like little short projects, put them on YouTube and things like that. Stuff will go viral. You know what I'm saying? Just a little crazy. Even things that goes viral now. You know what I'm saying? It went viral back then. So I got into that, gained a following of over 200,000 people on Instagram. So I was heavy on Instagram. Back in like 2012, 2013 area. And then after that, senior year happened. And of course, you know, you have the junior prom, the senior prom and things like that. So I had a girlfriend at the time that I was in high school with, and we went to a senior prom, and we, you know, everybody is trying to like, you know, stunt and things like that, you know, trying to have the best outfit and stuff. And me, I'm just like, I just want an MCM belt. I just want this, like, you know, I just want something to kind of like, you know, just, favor, you know, just what I have on. So I had a nice tux.
What do you mean by MCM built?
So, you know, like the designer MCM, like, you know, how like, you'll be in school and you'll be like, you know, oh, he got the Gucci flip flops, or he got like, you know, the Gucci shirt, and we ain't got no jobs at the time in high school, or no high paying jobs doing all that. So I said I wanted like, you know, some red bottoms, and I wanted MCM belt to match like, you know, my tux. I had a nice like tan tux, red bow, whatever the case may be. And anyway, so our prom pictures went viral. And I'm talking about like, it was this one lady on Facebook. She posted it, and it had over 100,000 likes and shares and stuff like that. So me and my girlfriend at the time, we decided to do like a YouTube channel. So we was doing a YouTube channel. We did like a couple channel for a little bit, or where the case may be. And you know, we kind of just went separate, you know, we broke up and things like that, but we went viral over that as well. Yeah. So I was really into social media, like heavy, like during my high school times and things like that, before I actually got into tech. But I was always kind of like interested in it and like, you know, around it and things like that. But I just never like said, hey, this is what I want to do in tech and things like that. So that was kind of like my life story before getting into, you know, the tech industry. So I have, you know, people that knew me from before then, but yeah, that's basically where it started.
Man, we're going viral for the prom drip.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now, what happened? Like, how did you go from there to being like, yo, I want to be in tech and I want to be a system administrator?
Yeah, so I graduated high school in 2016, and I was 17 at the time, but I was working at my first job. I don't know if you know Captain D's, but it was like a little fast. Yeah, I'm familiar with Captain D's. That was my first fast food restaurant, like my first job ever. So I got a job when I was a senior in high school. When I graduated, they had me in the back, you know, cooking, like, you know, frying the food and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But my manager at the time, she knew my mom very well, and she knew just how she kind of like watched me grow up and stuff like that. She was like, you know, I don't want him to be in the back forever. I want him to like, you know, come out here and learn like customer service skills, because he don't need to be back here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I went out there, you know, she put me in the front and doing drive-through and things like that. So it's crazy because my mom was telling me, like, because I didn't want to go to college at first. I didn't know what I wanted to go to college for. My mom was like, get into cybersecurity, get into computer science, like just screaming out things in tech to do. And I was like, all right, whatever. So, but I wasn't in college at the time. So then I had a person actually come through the drive-through one day, and I was just doing a regular order. And she came to the drive-thru and she was like, hey, like, you know, what's your name? What do you do outside this? And I was like, I just graduated high school. You know what I'm saying? I'm 17. And she was like, when you turn 18? I said, well, I turn 18 in a couple of weeks. And she was like, here's my card. I need you to send me your resume. And at the time, I looked at it and it had an Apple sign on it. And I was like, wait a minute, this ain't real. This is not real. You know what I'm saying? Nice. But because we had people coming in all the time, like, you know, get me to sell knives and stuff, door-to-door sales and stuff like that. So I didn't believe it at first.
Wait, this wasn't at Captain D's, was it?
Yeah, it was at Captain D's.
Wow.
She offered me literally a position on the spot at Captain D's. So she was like, you know, send my resume to her or whatever. So I went on my lunch break, sat down, got the card. I said, okay, I don't know. I mean, I knew what a resume was and stuff, but I don't have this background of just like being in tech and stuff like that. Yeah. She didn't know me from a can of paint. She didn't know that I was good in computers. She didn't know anything about me. She just knew I had good customer service skills. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. So I gave her my resume. I sent it to her by email. She contacted me the next day and was like, I need you here for an interview. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So I didn't know what to do. Like I got there, and I had my nice suit on and stuff like that, but I was so like just nervous because that was my very first like real interview with Apple. And I'm like, okay, what do I say? And they was asking me questions about like, you know, name a time we did this. And I'm like, all I can tell you guys is it's about school and, you know, other stuff. Like, I can't really tell you too much about it, but they got to know more about me as, like, you know, we did multiple interviews. So I went through 3 interviews with Apple. I did the first interview with the person the recruiter that got to me, and then the second interview was with the people that was in the position I was trying to go in, and the third interview was with the store leader.
Yeah. These interviews were centered around the system admin role.
Before that, it was in tech sales technically, so it was like product sales.
Yeah, okay.
So at this time, I didn't know anything about system administration. At this time, I'm 18. Cool. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know anything about it. So
when you say product sales, are you talking about like working in the Apple store and like selling like the phones or upgrade? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So got the job for that, and I started off in sales. So I was like a product specialist. So I would sell, like, you know, Apple devices. That's when the switch clicked, and I was like, okay, I need to get into learning more about tech and stuff, because I knew it was just something way deeper than this. So I started learning a lot about, like, you know, Apple products and stuff. And on top of that, Apple did tuition reimbursement, so they allowed me to go to school and not have to pay much out of pocket for tuition. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to a 4-year university. I'm just going to go to like a community college or whatever. So went to community college. I went to Georgia Military College, and at first my major was cybersecurity, and I was like, I want to do it. But at the time, I didn't know anything about cybersecurity. I just knew I wanted to do it. And then when I got there, it was so hard. Like, I had to take remedial math because I was bad at math. Like, I had to literally work my way up to get to there. But it was a calculus class I took, and I remember it to this day. Like, I withdrew from it.
Calculus class?
Yeah. It was a calculus. I had to take algebra. Well, first of all, I had to take remedial algebra. Then I had to take regular algebra. Then I had to take pre-calculus. Then they wanted me to take calculus. So it's with cybersecurity, it's a lot of math and science involved. Those are my weakest subjects in school. Just being honest. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to learn all of this stuff. And then when I got to my calculus class, every other teacher gave me the opportunity, or gave all of us the opportunity, to do our tests online. We brought our laptops to school. You know, we did our tests online. So, you know, this is the only teacher that gave us written paper tests and was like, show your work, do all this. In calculus, I'm like, I don't know how to do this stuff. And I was just like, at the time, I was kind of being like, just like, nah, I don't want to learn too much about this. So I was like, look, I want to stay in tech, but I don't know what is outside of cybersecurity. At this time, I didn't even know what IT was. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I went to my advisor and I said, hey, I'm looking to change my major, but I don't know if there's anything else in tech that I would be interested in. And she was like, well, have you ever thought about just getting a degree in IT? And I was like, no, tell me more. And she was like, well, cybersecurity is just a sector in IT. Yeah. It's IT is a whole umbrella full of stuff. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. So I changed my major to IT and literally graduated with my associates in IT. And then at that time, I moved to Atlanta in 2018. So I moved to Atlanta because I had a job opportunity with Apple again. So I became a Genius, which was a Mac and mobile technician, basically.
Okay, I'm happy you explained what that was. I thought you were just saying you just became a genius. I was like, okay, he's like, yeah, I did that. I became a genius.
Yeah, people say that all the time, but no, it's a Mac and mobile technician. So I had to get certified and everything. So
I think I'm familiar with. I think I have Genius. Like like you can pay a monthly thing for. Is that Genius? Do Genius, are they with Best Buy or no? I'm thinking of.
They do have you can get mobile certified, like mobile and Mac certified with a Best Buy because they do the Geek Squad thing.
Okay.
So you can't
do
that.
Geek Squad. That's what I'm thinking about. Geek Squad.
You can do that.
Okay, but I think I've seen Genius as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah. So I did that, and then I was out there in Atlanta, and then basically I was with Apple 4.5 years, and then pandemic and all that stuff happened. So when the pandemic and stuff happened, that's when I got heavy into trading and stuff like that. Yeah. And then
So wait, before we get there,
yeah.
So we want to talk about so you became a system admin.
Yes.
So was that your first role? Like after doing the IT course, you became a system admin or system administrator?
So once I left Apple, I became a system administrator. So at first I went with this company based out in California so I work from home. And basically my role is IT engineer, but basically my role is system administration work. Okay. So at the time when I first started, it was a lot of help desk stuff, but at this time it was a corporate tech type of thing. It was like not me working, Apple was kind of corporate, but it was semi-corporate because it was on a retail level. But this was kind of like, no, like you're working from home, you get unlimited PTO, you get a good salary, you know, all this stuff, like total comp, all this stuff. And I was like, I didn't know what any of this was, but it felt good to me because I didn't have all that at Apple. I was getting paid good at the time and for my age, but at the same time, it was like, you know, I didn't know I could get more out of this.
Yeah.
So,
yo, for everybody who is listening and you're thinking that you're interested in a career in tech sales, I suggest you check out Course Careers. Course Careers is a tech boot camp that you can do entirely from home. It's entirely virtual and it's self-paced. So that means you can knock it out in as early as 2 weeks or even take a few months if you need to. Now, the really cool thing about Course Careers is that they're actually partnered with multiple tech companies that are hiring their students right after finishing the program. The great thing about Course Careers is that with those partnerships, they're able to guarantee you jobs with some of their partner companies. Now, beyond that alone, the other cool thing we want to tell you about them is that Course Careers is actually only $500. That's it, nothing more, nothing less. But since we partner with Course Careers, they're offering our audience a discount of $50 off that already low price. So make sure you use our discount link that we have below. So that way you can take advantage of that $50 off that already low price. Do Course Careers at your own pace and let us know what job you end up getting from it. Explain to me and the audience, what is a system administrator? Like, what is it and what exactly does that look like day to day?
Yeah, so system administration just basically is managing systems or infrastructure for like the company that you're working for. So for example, like my role is IT engineer, but for my day to day, I basically manage systems. So I do like access management. So if somebody from an employee may needs like access to Salesforce, if you work in tech sales, I'll give you access to Salesforce. Or if Salesforce goes down, you know, and, you know, I have to figure out what's going on. I have to do the troubleshooting and, you know, figuring out what's going on with that. So basically system administration is just managing the company's like infrastructure when it comes to companies, employees, computers and things like that. We use MDMs like Kanji, Jamf, things like that. So just basically managing the whole infrastructure for the company. So
okay. Oh man. And what all companies have you done that for? Like been a system administrator?
Actually, this is the first company that I've done that for. So I was with Apple for a while and I was on that retail level then, and then now transitioning to the corporate tech space. Is the first company I've been with for over a year now. Doing that system administration. So I got exposed to like, you know, automation, scripting, things like that. Like, cause I'm trying to figure out next, like what I want to do outside of that. Do I want to get back into cybersecurity or do I want to become a developer? So it's like now it's like, you know, coming from that help desk role, system administration is a great role to get into because you kind of have a little bit more opportunity to discover and research. So a lot of times on my day to day, I'm researching every day. Like this job doesn't micromanage me. Like, you know, they're able to, you know, they're able to let me just show up and just like, you know, research and just do my thing. I have projects that I'm working on and things like that. So just figuring out the next step as far as like outside of system administration, what do I want to do? But if you want to stay within system administration, there are a lot of higher paying roles that, you know, are going for like Linux and also like, you know, Windows. Right now, I'm heavily on Mac, but I also do Windows too. But Linux, I have to get more, better and more proficient in when it comes to that. But I'm heavily on Mac and Windows when it comes to that system administration. So.
Okay, and what is typically the pipeline? So, because I heard you mention help desk. So, can someone generally get promoted from help desk to a system administrator?
Absolutely, depending on what company you go for. But there's a lot of companies, especially from my tech friends that I know, like, you know, they always say start off in help desk because at least you get your foot in the door. So it's like when you start off in help desk, you're doing IT support or you're working with customers or even employees sometimes, but you basically have to, especially in corporate tech, you have to create the opportunities for yourself. Like figure out what it is that you want to do outside of that. Get in, see what everybody else is doing. Like at my company, we have DevOps engineers and things like that. So I'm like, I didn't know what any of this was. Like, you know, I work for an AI company, so I didn't know what any of this stuff was. You know what I'm saying? So getting in, you have all of that to basically look out for. But help desk is a good way to get your foot in and then figure out what you want to do next. And the system administration is kind of like, okay, cool. You want to do this? You can manage going into that realm.
So you said, and I'm curious, this is a sidebar from the conversation, but you said that you work for an AI company. Like, what does your company do exactly?
Yeah, so they're basically a company that they sell AI to different like brands. So like when it comes to like, well, they sell AI to basically help better the infrastructure for different companies. So like Verizon, AT&T, Walmart, anybody that has like a large a large just like company or even just like a large infrastructure, they basically sell AIs to the company to be able to help just better their infrastructure and just their day-to-day, especially when it comes to IT, security room, and things like that. So just basically shaping up their infrastructures for different companies. So
okay, cool.
Yeah.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
That sounds really dope.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously we're in the AI boom right now, 2023. Around when did this company either be established or have they always been an AI company, or did they like evolve into more AI focus?
Yeah, they was always AI. They started off in 2012, and yeah, they've been around for a while, but they've been out since 2012, and they've always been like an AI company. So, but yeah, they work off of just basically, just bettering the infrastructures for different companies and things like that. So it's pretty dope. It's a pretty good experience.
I know you don't work on the tech sales side of things, but I'm curious. I understand it. So I understand if you don't know the answer to this, but I'm curious if right now, because AI is like on the tip of everyone's tongue, I wonder if it's created a spike in their level of like sales or conversions right now because everyone's taking AI extremely seriously right now. Is that something that you know or not?
I know of a little bit. So like the people that I work with, so we have like, SDRs, and we also have like, account executives and things like that. But a lot of the SDRs at my company are in the younger group. So they're maybe around my age or a little bit older and things like that. And a lot of them use like, AI just to like have better,
perform better.
Because like they even put me on to like, just outside of like the chat GPT and all of that, they put me on to like other more official AI sites that are like, ran by people and stuff like that, and are able to, it produces a lot more for, that person in that role or whatever they may be doing, even for personal stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what I know from them. So
how does your company know that certain people are using AI? And if they do, like what's been like the response, or has there been a response at all?
There hasn't been much of a big response. They know some people are using like AI for certain things, but I always just tell people when it comes to like AI and stuff, yes, it's dope to have like, experience in AI or just know like, what AI can do. But at the same time, don't be dependent so much on AI. Like still be a human, you know what I'm saying? But at the same, because there are, chat GPT and websites like that can make it look good to where it's like, oh, this looks good. But I seen something like where a lawyer, I don't know, got in trouble because he used a fake case from
I heard about that.
Yeah. And I was like, yikes. Like, so there's a terminology that I've been hearing called something where basically it just makes it sound, ChatGPT will produce something to make it sound good, but it may not be actual factual. So you have to go back and do your facts and stuff.
Yeah, ChatGPT is real dicey because a lot of people don't know the information that it has is very outdated. Yeah. So it's like whatever information people are gaining from ChatGPT, I think ChatGPT, it only has knowledge up to I think 2021. The new version, or I think we're in GPT-4 right now. I think GPT-4 has information up to 2021, but then even GPT-3, which we were just on ChatGPT-3, that one only had information up to I think 2017 or 2019. So people have to be they definitely have to be careful with that. I actually, this isn't like promo for any of those, by the way, but just kind of just talking. I actually have the Bard app on my phone. So I use Google's version of ChatGPT versus, even though Microsoft doesn't own ChatGPT, since they're the largest investor, they kind of basically own ChatGPT. But like, I use Bard because Bard is directly connected to Google, and Google is more updated. So I use that, but I just use the app on my phone. But usually if I'm on a computer, I'll use ChatGPT instead. But no, that's pretty far. I was asking about that because The company that I'm a co-founder of, Octoply AI.
Yeah.
One of the use case for Octoply is actually for people that are already working at a tech company and be able to use our AI assistant to help them when it comes to their job. And so I was curious as to how companies feel about that. And so, and of course, you don't fully speak for your company,
right?
And also, you definitely don't speak for every tech company.
Yeah.
But I was pretty curious with that topic, you bringing that up. All right, so let's go from that. So you were able to leverage, be able to break into your tech career as a system administrator at a really dope company right now.
Yes.
But you didn't stop there. Somewhere along the lines, you say, you know what, I'm going to take this tech bag and I'm going to learn about trading. I'm going to put this into something else. So what was it that made you decide that you wanted to take your tech bag and put it into something else? And then, like, how did you step into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this was probably like year 2 I was at Apple. So I'm living at home with my parents. I don't have major bills. I bought my first car, but that's like I'm only paying for car note and insurance. So 80% of my salary I'm pocketing. You know what I'm saying? I'm 18, 19 with, this much money, where the case may be. I'm cool. So I was like, well, what happened was I got into a wreck in November 2018. So it wasn't my fault. Somebody like rearing me or whatever, but we both had good insurance and I got a good settlement check back. So on top of having a nice Apple salary, I also had,
the money on top of money.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, so I got this much, from this settlement. So let me figure out what can I do with this. So when I was also in college too at the time. So I found someone that I knew, we knew each other from mutual friends, but we didn't really talk too much because he was busy, had a lot of stuff going on. But we finally had a conversation. I was like, hey, what do you do? Because I recently heard that he had bought land in Kenya, and I was like, what you do? You know what I'm saying? Like that's good money. What you do? Yeah. And he was like, hey man, I trade in foreign exchange, and I have other things that I'm doing right now, but trading in the foreign exchange market definitely helped me, just levitate as far as with the money and things like that. I said, okay, cool. So I want to learn more about that. And at the time he did a course. So I bought the course. It was like $375. And I'm not going to lie, it was a boring course. Like it was just going through it at first. It was like I wasn't as interested as I was before. But then I was like, okay, cool. Let me try to take it serious. And then I was in Mexico at the time, and one of my other friends who graduated from high school with me, he reached out to me and he was like, hey bro, hope all is well. What you do? I said, I'm working, at Apple, whatever. He was like, okay, cool. I'm trading and stuff like that. So at the time, a lot of people was trading and stuff like that, but I didn't know which person really to look for mentorship and stuff. He was like, yeah, man, I do it. I have an event, if you want to come out and learn more about it. Went out to it. Turns out it was a trading event, but it also was multi-level marketing as well.
Yeah, the MLM thing.
Yeah, so I was a part of that. I joined it. But along with that, I also learned how to trade within that. So he was actually one of the people, both of them were actually the people that kind of made me say, okay, cool, let me put my money into this and also be able to run it up with tech as well. So
Looking for a job in tech can be tricky, but what if there's a way to automate the entire process? That's where Octoply.ai comes in. See, this software does all the work it takes for you to get hired, from researching companies to scheduling interviews, and all you have to do is just show up. Octoply.ai is the first application of its kind that will find jobs that you're top applicant for, apply to roles, reformat your resume, and manages interviews all while you sleep. So if you're tired of the tedious job search, try Octoply.ai today and let technology work for you.
Okay, that's fire. I think that's dope. So, and y'all, of course, the reason we're talking about this, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because, of course, we talk about getting the tech bag, again, breaking tech, scaling tech, start your own tech business. But it's even in the midst of that scaling in tech, and maybe it's not you start your own tech business, maybe it's you scale in tech and you take your tech bag and you invest into real estate, or you take your tech bag and you invest into the stock market, or you invest into whatever it is you're passionate about. But one of those things could be, again, you investing into the foreign, and I didn't even know it was going to be the foreign exchange, but either way, investing into the stock market, but instead just the global stock market overall.
Yeah,
I'm curious, how has working in tech, how has that has that affected either your knowledge or the way that you go about either trading, or like has it had like any effect or impact at all?
Absolutely. It had more impact than just like, negative and things like that. So one of the things I can say that helped me just transition from that is being innovative. So with Apple, they, have a credo, and like part of the credo is to be innovative. So, they're heavily on that. So just kind of like thinking outside the box and things like that, because even when I was like, at Apple, they always challenged me to like, just go for more. And then with trading, it's like, yeah, you may learn this skill, or you may learn how to trade on this certain pair or whatever. You may make this certain amount of money, but I've got introduced to people that are 7-figure traders or 6-figure traders, and it's like, dang, I want to be able to go for more. But it's like being innovative in a way where it's like, okay, cool. How can I get from making $300 a day to $3,000 a day? Yeah. Or what is the strategy that I am missing that everybody else is catching to be able to, get this certain amount of, money that they're making? So that was one thing, is just being innovative, thinking outside the box. Tech is also the same way. Like, when it comes to being a help desk, some people get stuck in help desk for years, and they don't realize that, there's system administration, there's cybersecurity, there's developing, there's so many things within tech that you can do, but people don't see that. Especially at Apple, when I was working there, a lot of people didn't see that for real. But I would say being innovative, and also just staying up to date when it comes to the economy and how, what's new within the economy, like AI for tech. New in the economy right now, like everybody's looking to get into it, things like that. And then with trading, you have technical analysis, then you have fundamental analysis. Technical is more of like strategy, skills you learn on how to trade, like in the charts and things like that. And then fundamental is news, what happens. Money affects everything, so it's like money definitely affects the market. So if the stock market's crashing, forex market's crashing, but at the same time, you can make money off of it going up or down. So it's just those two things, being innovative and just, being innovative. And when it comes to just, staying up to date with what's going on within the economy, those are two things that just kind of help impact it when it comes to both realms of me trading and also being in tech and elevating that. So
I'm curious how, so again, we're in an AI boom. Yep. You're at an AI company. Yep. I'm a co-founder of an AI startup.
Yep.
But when we talk about, because we have a lot of our audience are people that are into trading, they're already trading, but it's like, how do you see AI affecting trading? Like, how do you, with you working at an AI company, with you being in tech, but also with you trading, is there like any type of correlation or some type of way you think that someone could leverage AI when it comes to trading?
Most definitely, because you have a lot of like, so with trading, a lot of people, especially like people that make a tons of money in trading, they may not want to do that anymore. Like just because trading takes a lot of work and skill, and it takes a lot of patience, time. So when you get to a level like, certain top traders and things like that, you may have like, bots that are around like, AI, people have trading bots and stuff like that.
Where basically the bot does the work in terms of predicting where you should be trading or putting your money into.
Yeah, so I do feel like it will have a positive impact, but at the same time, when it comes to people that are new to trading and things like that, I would just say for AI, you just want to make sure that, again, when it comes down to the facts and stuff, if you're looking at it from a technical standpoint, like as far as like a strategy or skill, you can make something out of it with AI to help better just your productivity with it. But when it comes to like, fact checking and stuff, that's when you want to just make sure that you go back to the basics, but also still use AI to just, help you become more efficient and more productive when it comes to just becoming a better trader. So, yeah.
That's fire. I've heard whispers of some AI trading bots, and I've definitely been like, yo, I might have to consider doing something like that, because that actually might be pretty dope. But going back to the point where you said earlier, where it's like, yo, AI is still very young, still very much so in its infancy, and that could be very risky for someone to be like, okay, I'm just gonna literally kind of set it and forget it and trust whatever this AI bot tells me to do. And sometimes that junk will probably give like very bad advice. Straight up. So that gets extremely dicey. So you've been a systems administrator for a while. Promotion wise, what does that look like? Like, where do you go from system administrator?
So really, when it comes to system administrator, as far as like with my experience and how I've seen other people like grow and things like that, like for example, I have a coworker who is also doing system administration, but wants to get into security realm. So when it comes to system administration, that's really when it's kind of like, nobody's really guiding you on what to. You have to kind of figure out what it is you want to do within tech. So goes back to that research. And like for me, I research every day. So I'm always looking at different things that, just interest me. For me, when it comes to promotion, I'm a guy that really needs I'm going to reach out to my manager. I'm going to be like, hey, I'm looking at this role possibly coming up, but what steps do I need to take to get into that role? Yeah. Or even if there's not a role coming up, you just want to be able to research, just figure out, okay, cool. Like if you want to get into coding, like you don't have to be a coder, but at the same time, you can get into scripting and automating different things to make your life easier. Like when I found out how to like script and things like that, it was like, man, this took a lot of, time away from just like, other things, but it helped me just make my work life just a lot more efficient. So yeah, when it goes back to that, it's just whatever you make it. It can be either cybersecurity, and most people go towards cybersecurity because, you're learning about networks, you're learning about systems and things like that. So that cybersecurity is more of like, defense and hacking and things like that. So that's what people mostly go to, but you can also become, an engineer, whether it's DevOps, whether it's, just a regular, like, a software developer, things like that. Or SRE, what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So it really just depends on like, where you want to go next with it. So
that's incredibly fire. One thing I want to share with y'all, and this literally just kind of hit me as we're talking. A lot of my audience have brought this up to me, so I'm gonna make sure everybody knows that Course Careers, usually whenever we recommend Course Careers, it's predominantly for tech sales roles. But several months ago, Course Careers actually launched a IT course as well. Same thing, use our discount code, only $449, and it gets people entry level into cybersecurity, or entry level into IT roles. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that I knew about it was that it was helping people get help desk, either help desk, or now that I think about it, someone did mention that some people are able to get system administrators, but they said that hasn't been as easy. It's usually help desk roles. Yep. But now realizing, oh snap, that's actually the pipeline from, again, help desk, and you might be able to move to system administrator, and then from there potentially go into the cybersecurity space. So yeah, for those that are interested and maybe you're like, I just want to get into help desk and kind of go the same pipeline that Torian has, I definitely recommend using the link in our bio. If you want to discount $50 off, use our discount code, which we'll have that listed, but it's Cyrus50. So that way you can go ahead and get into, just a help desk role and be able to move up that pipeline. But I think that's really cool, like hearing your story. And it's actually so funny how just even like, I love how like you stayed true to what you knew you actually were interested in and what you were actually good at. Because many people just are like gonna force themselves to do something that they're like, I will hate this, or I won't even be that good at it, but I'm just trying to get to the bag. Exactly. And it's like, you were about the bag, but you also were about the bag doing something that you were true to. You're like, it's definitely a good fit for you, bro. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, but before we do, man, definitely want to allow you to just kind of like whatever gems or nuggets that you haven't had an opportunity to share with everybody, definitely want to give you the floor for that. Yeah,
for sure. When it comes to just, if you're in tech or you want to get into tech, I would say if you want to get into tech, the easiest way, is to just like, first, get your foot in the door, however that is, whether it's, certifications, whatever the case may be, or just like help desk jobs, customer service roles, do that. And then figure out next what it is that you want to be able to do beyond that. But the sky is the limit, you know what I'm saying? So you can do whatever it is you want to do. Like I know people that's making tons of money in the tech industry, high 6-figure paying jobs. And it's like, the sky's the limit. So it's never what you can do. And just have these different things in mind when it comes to all of that. It's like, have patience with yourself, especially in my generation, because a lot of people, in my generation, the social media thing where they see all these influencers of people making all this money. My mom always told me everybody has a season. So understand that, your season's coming up. You know what I'm saying? It may not be right now, but it will be eventually. But just, stay down for the come up and things of that nature. And just keep going. So have patience, have discipline. So go to the gym, do something, to, keep that discipline going. Set a schedule for yourself, set goals for yourself, small goals and big goals for yourself. Just stay true to what it is you want to do. Like if you've always been good with computers, stay within that. If you feel like you always was good with that and that's a passion for you, go ahead for it. But also too, if you're trying to get into like a side business or anything else, Like I said, just stay patient, stay disciplined, and yeah, just keep learning, keep being a student. That's the biggest thing too, because a lot of people they think they know it all, but it's like you don't know everything. You can always be a sponge and absorb as much as possible. So yeah, those are the key things I would just say when it comes to anybody that wants to get in tech, is currently in tech, and wants to maybe have a side business or whatever, and whatever the case may be. So yeah.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.